work through the technical fun of getting the game up and streaming. So bear with us. Some of this might be a little odd to begin with. You might see some of the sound get adjusted. You might see some of the picture get adjusted. But we've got some very cool stuff to show you live from the E3 floor. Same stuff everybody else is getting to see. So
we're going to show some gameplay. Yeah.
All right.
We're going to just, if you want to switch here, you go to what's going to be on the screen, and here you're going to be in the little corner. So there you are. In the corner.
There we go. Look at that.
And
okay.
Now you're seeing
I'm getting a little view of what you guys are seeing. So here's the gameplay. So I've got myself a bounty hunter. We just made up. This is Danielle. One of the things I did is I wanted to go show the new red attack. You guys might have heard we redid the Ratataki entirely, so let's go take off her helmet. And in fact, actually, everybody remembers this one when there was this huge, strange concept that we would not have a preference to take off your helmets. So we would put that under social. Hide head slot. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so you can see my super cool Ratataki girl. She looks very cool. It's all tricked out and bad looking. We are in Tatooine. We are level 26. This is well, we know Tatooine. Tatooine is second to last planet in Chapter 1, so we're pretty high level here. It's also the first planet that the Republic and the Empire are here together with no restraints. Neither side has much actual presence on the planet, which means if you're on a PvP server, this place just becomes a giant firefight, especially out in the Dune Sea. So what we're showing today is we're showing a bit of the world arc and what's going on, and we're also going to field questions. I saw there were about 6,000 plus of you now in the chat rooms, which is fantastic. Very excited. So we can go talk to the world arc. Yeah, let's go see what's going on, what they want us to do.
This is Captain Gola, Reclamation Service Outpost 701. It's good to see you again. My team's still searching for the Zerka base, but we've hit a snag that, frankly, we can't handle ourselves.
I've solved your problems before. I can do it again.
After you left for the Jawas, Lord Silvar had a vision. Something about the natives, the Sand People. He flew a speeder into the Dune Sea, but we lost the tracking signal in an energy storm. Silvar was summoning lightning.
Why would SWTOR go out there alone?
Lord Silvar was following a dream. The same way he found the lost temple of Zeost and the crystal caves of Molofar.
So it's kind of fun to be playing a bounty hunter while dealing with some of this kind of crazy Sith stuff. The Sith and the Imperial Reclamation Service are trying to find out what these secrets are that are happening that were sort of left under the sands of Tatooine. And as a bounty hunter, it's fun because you can kind of be a little bit askance at the crazy Sithness as they're seeing visions and doing all this stuff.
The natives. What are they? What could they do to SWTOR?
I don't know. They're savages. Still, I wouldn't think they could kill him alone. Find the spirit guides and find him. When you have answers, come to offer them. Otherwise, I don't know how this mission can succeed.
All right, so what you saw there was an odd little bug where somebody's companion walked through and you thought, oh, okay, I see, that's Mako. But we're not actually going to take Mako out. We've got a different companion character for this one. There were some guesses. There were a lot of bounty hunter people who said, oh God, please tell me that's mine. And yes, in fact, Blizz is yours. This is Blizz. He is adorable. Hi, Blizz. Oh, Blizz doesn't have his VO in for his ambient lines. You see them show up. He sounds like a Jawa. He's very cute. I've heard his VO. So that's Blizz. He's our little fixer running around. He's got suppressive fire mode. He can just unload a whole bunch of his cool little tech gadgets at people. We're going to put him away for the minute, though, because we need to travel. So let's unsummon him. And, oh, somebody else already beat it. You can see them running around there. This is the full game. We stopped making demos a long time ago. We just have the game running from the servers. So we're going to pull out our speeder bike. And these guys are super cute. You see we've got to really pull back and run around on this guy. We actually did experiment early with the full-size speeder bikes, but they take up a lot of room in the cities and places like that. So the artist went and made us something that was compact, really, really slick and still looks very nice. If you do see, there's a little bug right now. They're all actually built originally for the male normal body type. So you're seeing that her hands aren't on the handlebars right now. That's a bug. It'll get fixed. Don't stress about it. So what we're going to do is we've just got this quest to go out and find out what's going on with the sand people. So open up our map, and you can see right here, it shows it, or you can click up here and it'll actually show you on the map. So you can go through any of your quests and it'll pop it up instantly. For those of you who are like looking at world size, well, when you're doing the map, one of the nice things is you can actually run, there we go, it'll turn semi-transparent so you can keep the map up as you go. Okay, so there's a long ways we're going to be driving. So one of the things that's nice when you see it is, oh, something bad happened there. All right, there's a quest there. We're not going to do it right now. But there's some great set pieces. You see how much it looks like Tatooine, how exciting it is out there. We're going to bank a turn. The rear jets also aren't firing right now. Graphical bug. Surprising update. TOR not bug-free yet, but very playable, very, very fun. All right, so one of the things I was saying about the map, so you can see how far we've come. We're just a little bit. This whole area is actually just one tiny piece of Tatooine. In fact, boom, that's Tatooine. So the map is just covering this little area. This is one hub of the enormous Tatooine. Anchorhead up here is where the Republic is actually hanging out. We could go up there and get really, really stomped by a bunch of guards. But we're going to stick to our quest for right now. So you can switch back and forth between the map. For those of you who haven't seen much of it yet, obviously the entire GUI has been redone. We got a lot of great feedback from people in testing saying very impolite things about our GUI, but we listened to all of that feedback and we said, all right. Sometimes in testing you get mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people don't. That was not the case with the GUI. So we went and did a full scrap of everything. Stephen Reed is making motions at me.
Yeah, we had a request to turn up the gameplay footage, so as I understand if you click mix it here.
Okay.
Really turn this up?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a request. Apparently you guys are more excited to hear the gameplay than to hear me.
The speaker's audio.
Oh, we slide that up.
Is that me or is that
No,
it?
this is the...
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Bring it down a bit.
We'll try that.
There we go.
Okay.
Try that.
Okay, try this, and if it's still not good, let us know. See, we take requests well.
Everybody likes the Jawa companion so far, apparently.
Yeah, Blizz is about the best thing ever. I do actually have written down, somebody will have to ask me, I wrote down on my desk quite a while ago when I said that there was the cutest companion still being announced. And one of the community members actually, I have written down the first person who guessed Blizz.
I'll have to phone that person.
Yes. I know who it is. All right. We're looking for a cave here. Here we go.
You want to take a couple of questions while we're there?
Sure. We're traveling. We're going to take some questions. Stephen Reed is going through all of the when is the release date questions.
There are many, many thousands of questions here. The questions I have here are Jawa companions Empire only? If so, did the Republic get Ewok companions?
There are not Jawa companions. One of the things that you guys always remember is that companion characters are class specific. We have companion characters with their quests, with their dialogue, with all the stuff you expect in a BioWare game, and we have different sets for every class. So Blizz is only for the bounty hunter. All of the different classes, however, have fantastic companion characters, just as exciting. All right, we should get off our bike here. There are no Ewoks. I can go ahead and confirm that now. Endor is not floating around yet in our time period. All right, let's bring Blizz out and see what he can do. All right, get him, boy. Oh, Blizz just flattened somebody, which is pretty funny. All right, a little bit of fire. All right, now I have not played this build in some time, so excuse me while I figure out where everything is.
Another question.
No, I'm not going to get killed. I'm not going to have that.
Are there any speeders besides the ones shown in the video?
Absolutely. There's actually a whole bunch of different speeders, and in fact, one of the things we did, Pliz just completely nuked the other guy when I wasn't looking. Originally, we had the concept artist design a bunch of different speeders that were very specific to the two factions. And then I believe it was Damien. Somebody had actually asked, hey, let's not have them... okay, we've got a bonus quest here to get some guys. That's where I'm going. Damien had asked that they not actually be specific that way, but in fact have some ability that the other faction can get them. So even though the different ones are faction-specific themed, you can, through a lot of hard work, end up with something that really shows off you stole the other faction's speeder.
So a couple of other mount-related questions. One obvious one, will there be different speed levels for mounts?
Absolutely. Different speed levels, different designs, different feels. We've got a pretty good variety for the vehicles.
And another one, at what level will mounts be available to the player?
Right now, they're sitting at about 25, but as all things like that, testing.
And this is an interesting question. Will
That's what I'm looking for.
Will Blizz be romanceable?
Blizz is not slated as a romance right now. That would involve us showing what happens when what's under the Jawa robe, which you may think you want to know, but you don't actually want to know. What's wrong with punch this guy?
We're gonna take another little quick look at the sound quality.
Okay.
You're about that, so.
Yeah, well, I'm always over the side. Alright, well this is the guy we need to take out, so...
There we go.
Yeah, excuse me if I'm not being as exciting as I could be here. I'm still trying to figure out what all is on this guy. Hey, there we go. So we gotta... Let's go ahead and take the mixer. So me? Is this me?
Yeah, the top one. Maybe we bring down the max there, just the type.
Take down
This
what?
one. Oh, hold on. Did you want to put more on
Me?
mix?
Okay, I think
That works?
That'll probably definitely work.
Alright, continue to feed that. We'll see what's going on. Alright, so I got my my compass. Now I've got to use the compass, so I'm going to guess it's over here in my quest items. There it is. Alright, so I got an idea where he's going. Let's check our map here.
Audio is apparently better, thank you.
Okay, so he is over here. So,
Easy question.
Yeah.
Which advanced class spec are you currently playing? This is hard to read, obviously.
right now I'm playing Power Tech, which is part of my problem because I usually have been a mercenary in times past. So I'm trying to learn what this guy's doing. I in fact should have, let's say my buff on.
Another easy question, is there an auto-loot option?
If by auto-loot you mean a right-click just handles everything, yes there is. There is not a you don't have to press right-click at all option, but yes, there is a right-click just goes and takes everything, or you can do the traditional shift and click to do the same thing. See, really the Tatooine landscape is just gorgeous. They've done some really nice stuff here and really sold the sand effect. This piece really reminds me of the original Knights of the Old Republic when you went to the Sand People's place on Tatooine.
Talking of Tatooine, the question was, is there a Sarlacc to visit in-game?
There is, in fact, a Sarlacc to visit in-game, and jumping in it is sort of fun, but throwing somebody in it is really fun. Oh, I have grapple. I haven't got to, sorry, I'm just going to, for a second, I'm just going to go ahead and get these guys just because... Hey, look at that. And that would be a rocket punch. Alright, that was really fun. I can just grapple people all day. So, Flame Sweep, how do you guys both want to get you together? There we go. Let's set everybody on. Alright, that was really fun.
Another couple of questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
What will the level cap be in the game?
Level cap right now is 50.
So we're about halfway through this character.
Yeah, although, I mean, as in RPG tradition, levels tend to extend a little bit as you get further. So I'm a little bit further as far as character builds. Well, look at this. So there's apparently a Great Dragon Cave that they've come and camped inside. There are some cave keepers. Now, I've actually been playing a lot of Sith Inquisitor Assassin lately, so my initial concept was to try to sneak past them. I can't do that, so in fact do this instead.
Another question you might want to ask for Jimmy about, the question was, can you put any new master?
Yeah, so companions, one of the things that people were a little bit confused about, I know when people saw the features video, they saw somebody they thought looked a lot like Mako, because they were wearing a very similar outfit. It's important to remember that you can actually equip your companions entirely, so if you go over to the companion tabs, you'll see this guy's actually got a full set of gear. What we're doing with the companions that, it's not a very nice thing to say, but we call them freaks. The people that, the really, really, really not humans, like Blizz and Chemball, we have set looks for them that you can unlock, and we'll talk later about how we do that, but you can actually put any sort of equipment on them. A little bit like Big Z was in the original Knights of the Old Republic. We don't want to try to put together all of the ridiculous, like, you know, you can't cram human armor on Blizz. We still want him to be upgradable. Also, like the original Knights of the Old Republic, droids are a different thing, and droids actually do get their own unique items. You get armor plating and things like that for them. What? I was looking at my companion, yeah.
Just a request to look at the inventory.
Oh, absolutely. So this is the first time, obviously we spent a lot of time telling people, hey, don't look at the UI because it wasn't done. Now we actually can show off the UI. I'm not surprised people don't do it. Alright, everybody's dying. So yeah, so here is my inventory. Originally the inventory. There's my inventory. You can pay to extend it out. We don't actually have a there's no backpacks or ideas like that. We don't try to explain how you're holding 30 seats of armor. You just have inventory and you can pay to extend it out. Your character shows all your different stuff. I don't have any titles right now because we cheated and put my character up here, but if I did, they'd be right up here. Social rank, valor, you know, for doing your great PvP stuff. Yeah, inventory is pretty straightforward. We do have a different slot for quest items, and this does not fill up, so you can really just keep it going.
Seeing a lot of repeating questions, so I'm just trying to find.
Stephen Reed is scrolling through your questions.
The easy one, at what level can you start PvP?
Right now, you can actually start PvP at level 1, or not that is going to be shipped, or we're doing that as a test. It's really fun. There are some small story concerns around. One of the first PvP places you can go is Alderaan, and you haven't really been introduced to it yet, but nobody seems to care, so it's very likely we'll just end up leaving it that way, because it's really fun to go into PvP and get thrown into the various pieces. There's at least one more war zone we haven't announced yet that Gabe has tried to tease a little bit. You guys are going to be very excited to see. It was one that a few of us on the team have been dreaming about doing for a very long time and finally got through the convincing powers of Mr. Emmett Angelo.
Question about companions. Do you get to alter a companion's appearance? Different armor or another robe?
Yeah, so, and that's what I was saying is, so Blizz has a number of different set appearances. So you can unlock new appearances for Blizz, and we'll talk a little bit about how that works. For the people who are more human and can wear normal armor, and that's what I was saying, for people like Mako, who, when you've seen the videos, we always end up having her in her default clothes, because that's sort of her look, and it makes it easy to recognize. But she actually, you can put any suit of armor on her you want. I ran into somebody the other day who had worked really hard on getting a bunch of suits of armor, and both their Sith warrior and vet were running around dressed like high-level Imperial officers. And it made me giggle. They weren't very good in a fight wearing that gear, but there they were.
Okay, another question was, will Tatooine be visitable by all classes?
Tatooine is absolutely visitable by all classes, and that's what, when I was showing you the world map here, so this area is where the Republic starts out, and this area is where the Imperials start out. By the time you're out of the sort of the starting areas, you start running across each other a lot. By the time you hit the Dune Sea, it gets really, really dangerous on PvP servers. I, in fact, the last time I was playing, ran to the wrong taxi station and realized right as I was there, and the players who were playing there and the guards all came running out to murder me. Let's take a break here for a sec, because we found our guy. This is Darth SWTOR, who we were looking for. And,
Lord SWTOR?
Did Captain Gola send you?
Oh, he's not dead.
Such a good man. A pity he didn't send young Hale, but the honor is yours. You will hear my last words.
A pitiful death for a pitiful Sith.
You think so? Oh, but you haven't seen what I have seen. The Force called me into the desert. I sensed what Circa found. An alien power. I saw a white room. I thought the Sand People would know the land's secrets. I murdered
You see
them.
Blizz in my cutscene?
Stole
So
their
cute.
thoughts to find this cave. I knew
Always
victory
for the dark side, Daniel.
before they destroyed me.
Your story's amusing, but this is pointless.
Forgive me for prattling on. My journey here was not for nothing. Circa built its base over a site from the natives' myths. A forbidden land. The paintings in the cave show the way. Find them. Record them. Gola and his men, they...
Time to die. Goodbye, SWTOR.
So soon. So soon.
And I look disgusted even at having to do it. So, yeah, very cute with Blizz being very small in the back. So what we're actually doing on Tatooine is we're trying to uncover the mysteries of what Zerka was doing here quite a bit of long time ago and why they tried to cover it up. So SWTOR found something with the Sand People. We're going to go investigate it, but right now we'll get back to questions. And to be clear, Daniel Erickson does not stand for just dark side. Daniel Erickson stands for comedy. I tend to go after whatever looks funniest.
Okay. Next question. Are the story areas, like the one that you're in right now, phased, instanced, or open to the world?
It really depends on the area. The piece that I'm in right now is actually a fully public space. There are instances. When we do instances, however, we don't do the instances where we're going to cut you off from the whole rest of the planet. It's really important for us that you're not having that moment where you say, hey, Bob, meet me by the mailbox. And Bob says, I'm standing next to the mailbox. And you say, but I can't see you. So we keep our instances small and tight. Even when they're big dungeons, they're places that make sense to be instanced. You've got a group together or you've got a story piece of your own. You're going to walk in and talk to somebody. You're going to see a piece. Anytime we can keep you in the public space, like this quest, the way it was written, it worked perfectly fine to be in a public quest. If we can do it, we do.
Question about Blizz. Just asking what kind of
He right now is a DPS. Oh, I keep not using his. All right, that's his little. Let's watch Blizz take this guy out. Dodge, Blizz, dodge. See, Blizz has got all sorts of little tech abilities. His story is he's actually a cute little crazy mechanic. Oh, this guy's elite. All right, I should probably help him. Sorry, dude. No. We are actually at least one more major pass on all the companion characters that's going to bring some pretty radical changes to how we play with them. So stay tuned for that. That's one of the few systems that's still pretty strongly in flux.
So, a couple of questions on PvP. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
One was, in PvP, will the level be buffed to a fixed cap, or how will that work?
Absolutely. So PvP, especially right now, as we've got the population smaller, we may have several different brackets for it, but whatever bracket it is, it buffs everybody up to be around the same place. So this is an interesting one. This is what I always call dark side for dark side points. Like, I could just destroy this incredibly beautiful painting piece of artwork that they've done that talks about the history of Tatooine for no good reason. But see, that's not funny. That's just peevish. We respect art here.
Another question on Tatooine generally. What transportation options are there in such a huge planet?
So Tatooine has a very nice speeder through the desert system. and then obviously your own speeders. We try to... Really? Hey, there it is.
Tor still has bugs.
Tor still has bugs. That was the bug where your speeder doesn't draw in, but you can still fly around. So one of the... Oh, that guy was me. Okay. If you actually look at the map, these are all taxi hubs. So good ways to get around everywhere. Once you've discovered one, obviously you can go and... I'm going to see if I can dodge it. And get... was a tiny little instance we were in.
Another question on companions. Can you switch companions? I.e., can you remove Blizz and use a different companion?
Absolutely. So once each of your companions is unlocked, they live on your ship, and you can use them in any fashion that you want.
And a follow-up to that, are there any Force-using companions?
There are absolutely Force-using companions, and they show up for a variety of different classes, some of which are fairly surprising.
I don't even know if you'll get this reference, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it's
Okay.
funny. Are you guys still in fire?
Are we still in fire?
You must have missed that meme.
No, and I didn't understand the meme, but I did see the posting that said the devs were all in fire. I have been in fire as long as I can remember. And it's usually Stephen Reed's fault.
That's cool. Just asking about Blizz again. Is Blizz just a companion for this particular quest?
No, once you've unlocked Blizz, actually, Blizz, to be clear, we let Blizz out here because we wanted people to be able to actually see Blizz because he's very cool. I shouldn't actually have Blizz yet. I'm cheating. But once you get Blizz, you can take him out whenever you want. In fact, through the crew window, which doesn't have anybody else in there because we didn't want to show off all the companions, but you can literally go here and flip out your companions anytime you want. One of the things we did in the early days was made it much more like the original Knights of the Old Republic, where you had to go back to your ship, and it was really not conducive to MMO gameplay. It's very important to the MMO and the constantly shifting sort of groups that you form that you can switch out your companions for really the situation that it calls for. Very often we said, hey, Mako right now is spec'd as a healer, and we've definitely had the situations where he said, hey, there's 3 of us and none of us is a healer. Somebody get Mako. And instead of having to run back to the ship, one of the bounty hunters just pull Mako out. All of a sudden, we've got a healer in the group. We had a pretty hilarious bug for a while where Mako would just follow whoever she healed the most. So then when your group split up, one guy'd walk away with your companion character. That doesn't happen anymore, really.
Okay. Any dark side options that you had trouble choosing or regretted making?
Yeah, there's definitely some... I first really decided that this is where I wanted to be when playing the original Knights of the Old Republic and doing the big, hey, we can make Big Z take out mission. And I remember that really affecting me and feeling guilt and sort of horrible about it. And it's also one of the things that made me love and want to get into doing BioWare stuff. So we really tried to push that feel in the Old Republic. There's a lot of places where we've watched people who said they really wanted to be dark side sort of step away and say, I don't think I can do that. The one that comes up very often, I think, is because it's so early, is on Hutta. You guys may have heard the one where there's a woman who wants to send her son off to Korriban for Sith training, and the father, who had been on Korriban and managed to survive but not become Sith, is trying to leave with the son. And your options are to put the kid and his dad on a shuttle and lie to her and tell her that the kid went to Korriban and everything's good, or to gun down the father in front of his son. And it's one of those ones that a lot of people hesitate about, and even once they do, we see many players say, oh, whoa, I didn't think that would actually happen, and then start to go down a lighter, nicer path. And of course, some people just giggle, because there's always those people. I'm going to go turn this in. Are we turning this in here? Where am I turning this in? See, I'm talking to you guys. I need to pay attention to where I'm supposed to be going for this. Oh, I'm supposed to be going
Get
way,
away with
way,
it.
way away.
Kind of at the end of our demo stuff.
Yeah, this is actually past the review for the demo. But if we've
Can't
got
talk
time,
now.
I'll just drive around and Steven can ask questions.
I have no idea what the answer to this one. Can I sell my companion for credits?
No, you actually cannot participate actively in slavery. This is an ESRB issue.
We'll send people march in single file to find their numbers.
When they do march, yes, in fact they will. And you'll be able to tell if they've gotten shot down, because really it's only Imperial troopers that are precise enough to really take us down.
Can you visit any planet you want to, no matter what chapter you're currently in?
Once you have actually unlocked your ship, yes. Before that, you need shuttle passes and things to kind of keep you contained for the first couple of worlds so you can figure out what's going on. But then, yeah, if you want to march off to Corellia and just run around in the war zone and get completely destroyed, you absolutely can. Story is a important thing, but we never want it to be something that limits the base usability of an MMO. Will there be RP PvP servers? I don't know, like we haven't announced anything for it, but I like them. You know, I always want to have a pop-up at the beginning that explains to them what it means, because a lot of times my RP PvP server is filled with guys killing me and going, what's RP? But I think that the Old Republic is a great place for role players. We put a lot of work into making sure that that we have support for that sort of thing. So you guys know, I'm actually the guy who's walking in the games when he's actually playing, because it's not good role playing to run. So I am in support. We haven't made any official announcements around it yet.
This is a good question for the current build. What happens when you die?
Oh my god. Yeah, let's go get me killed, huh? One of the things that we did a lot of work on really trying to shift was, in fact, the death system. So James Owen, who's our erstwhile director, you know, we're talking about the guy who made Baldur's Gate games and Dragon Age, and he likes to kill players. He has a very firm belief that if you can't die, the game becomes very boring very quickly. So he wanted to make sure that we had a death system that would work for that, because the problem is, if you're gonna, let me say, oh, he's elite. He'll probably take me. I can't attack the Bantha. Okay. If you're gonna let players, here we're just gonna make this really fast. Liz can't help me now. Hey, creature. Okay, he's just gonna eat my head for a little while. Wow, really? It is really funny because I was watching the press guys get like killed constantly, and I just assumed everything was super brutal right here. So we're gonna watch him munch away at me. He's not the scariest lead I've ever faced. The big important thing is, if you're gonna let players die, if you're gonna put them in situations where they have to think, where they have to actually not cakewalk through a combat, you have to make the death system pretty forgiving. When you're playing a single-player game, you don't even mind cranking up the difficulty on some of this stuff, because if you do happen to die, you're just going to reload, right? Your penalty is as much as your computer handles the reload piece. So even on the worst thing, you know, maybe 20, 30 seconds, you're back in the action. If every time that you're going to die, you have a huge penalty, you have to run back a long ways, players are going to get very mad very quickly. So we still have the Return to Med Center, which you can do, but we've also added in the medical probe. And the medical probe takes a few seconds, keys up, and then here we go. So I now have 12 seconds that I can run off to someplace that's not aggro. So I'm fully stealthed at this point, and it's like a super uber dev stealth, like players can't see you, nobody can see you, you're all cool. And obviously, we know that every player class has a out-of-game heal, so you can heal yourself right back up, get right back into the action. It's actually possible to do some pretty fun stuff with this. Playing on our current build, me and one other guy ran a 4-man heroic by ourselves using some clever, okay, we'll die here and it's perfectly fine to res and have one guy try to do a thing while another guy dies. You distract that guy and run the elite round in circles. It's fun and it gives you a lot of flexibility, and it makes death less of a fear. The more you die, the higher, in sort of a traditional old PvP way, the more you die, the higher the timer goes up. So eventually it might take you 10 minutes for your med thing if you were dying constantly as we were.
Question about Corellia. Does Corellia serve any other purpose other than being he thinks it's a war zone. Maybe he means Alderaan. I'm not 100% sure.
So Alderaan is a war zone and has a full, giant, amazing planet that you guys are probably going to get to see a lot of footage of from the show floor, because we're actually showing some really cool stuff from Alderaan behind closed doors. So look for your press sites for that. Corellia is not a war zone. Corellia is a huge, amazing city that is the culmination of one of the biggest war scenes in all of Star Wars, and definitely the biggest one in our game.
Another question, will there be any world bosses?
There are world bosses. I'm not sure where the world boss is in Tatooine, or I'd go find him for you. I went and got to fight the one on Droman Koss the other day, and it was really fun on the server because the testers don't know where he was. I didn't know where he was. Combat guys just put them in there. So we all wandered through a swamp. We formed a raid group. We got 10 of us together, ran around, found the world boss, and we'd spread out to try to fight him. So I was part of the 3 guys who almost got stomped flat because we were by ourselves. Luckily, again, I was an assassin, so I just stealthed and hid under a rock.
Hold on. Okay. Do you want to talk at all about release date? I know everyone wants to know about it.
Sure. We are not making any new announcements about the release date of the show.
And are we still on track for 2011?
We are on track for 2011. We were going to talk about the release date, but Steven said it would be funnier not to.
Thanks for blaming. Can you summon your starship any way you want?
No, starships are very, very large. One of the things that we had to deal with, in fact, many of the planets later on that we were doing for sheer size do not have their actual spaceports even here. They have spaceports that are up in, they have space stations instead where you land and they shuttle down. One of the things that we did in the Old Republic is we made everything the actual size it needed to be. So unlike the Ebon Hawk, which was sort of a clown car, when you got out you noticed it was not very big. Excuse me. There's a limit even to my talking. Mm-hmm. In the Old Republic, the ships are actually real size. They are huge. If you guys have seen the walkthroughs of them, where you're walking around the ship, these are enormous crafts, so you can't just drop them in the middle. You can, of course, bind yourself nearby your ship and pop back.
What kind of level range is Tatooine?
Tatooine, I believe, is around, and don't quote me on this, and it could change. All things are good. None of this is true. So I think it's around 24 to 28. They overlap a little bit.
Can you level and play? Can you level and play solely through PvP?
You really can't, because all of your gating things are class quests. So you absolutely can level through PvP. In fact, there's something fantastic about finishing a PvP quest, a PvP match, and then getting your level. But you'd be gated in all of your primary stuff. So once you were off of the capital worlds, so once you were past Coruscant and Droman Koss, you could do it, but it would be a pretty bad way to play.
Pretty open question. Can you talk about the Bounty Hunter advanced classes?
I can. So the Bounty Hunter has 2 advanced classes, which are the Power Tech and the Mercenary. So if you take a look at my little tree here. So the Power Tech has 3 pieces. You see Advanced Prototypes, which are really about your gadgeteer. Shield Tech, if you're trying to go tank. And then Firebug, which is, as it sounds, I like fire. Fire, fire, fire. If you want to just be really, really good at your flamethrowers, at your explosions, all of that stuff, more sort of control and AoE, you can go into this one. The Power Tech is really about your gadgets and your utilities. it really goes into the mercenary to be just your heavy, high-powered. I've got 2 guns and I'm going to do a ton of damage.
I think we'll probably be wrapping up after the next couple of questions.
Okay. Stephen is bringing
I'm
us
just trying to find a couple more.
A couple more fantastic questions. And again, apparently it's over 8,000 now in the chat.
Oh, we got over 10,000.
We're over 10,000 at one point, which is fantastic. So thank you guys very much. I know this was a little hard starting out. We really appreciate you being here.
Glad to stay up. What happens if your companion dies?
If your companion dies, you can actually, as long as you live, you can bring your companion back up. In fact, one of the interesting things in the Old Republic is, again, trying to make sure that group dynamic works well. And, think of an old traditional RPG. If anybody in your group survives, they can res everybody else, including the companions. If your companion is the only one left that survives, you're wiped.
It's worth mentioning that the graphic settings in the game are turned down a little bit to make sure that we get high performance, which is why you're not necessarily seeing all the shadows you might expect. In addition, we're obviously streaming this live, so you're probably seeing a sort of degraded picture as well.
Did you guys all hear all those disclaimers?
Yeah,
Steven?
just throw those disclaimers.
Yeah, so if you didn't, basically saying this is not what the game looks like when it's not streaming live. We have the graphics turned down a lot to try to get a little bit higher feed, and our internet connection is a little tight here. There are a lot of people at E3 using the interwebs, and as we know, they are giant tubes and they get filled with things. Man, this planet is big.
Well, that was a question. The areas, that was more of a comment, the areas you're traveling in look a little bit barren. We're wondering where mobs and NPCs can be found.
Well, Tatooine is actually
Pretty barren.
Yeah, it's kind of barren. As you see, there are mobs actually all over the place. We're not really in a questing area so much here. Tatooine was a hard balance to strike because in one of the earlier builds we had it pretty mob full, and it really didn't look like Tatooine anymore. So for Tatooine to really sell, you need to spread things out. So Tatooine tends to be some pretty tight clusters. So we're headed out into the Dune Sea, which you see a very different type of desert terrain now. Tatooine tends to be tight clusters separated by a lot of space, and it really does sell the Tatooine feel.
Okay, I think we're probably going to wrap up.
All right, we are actually at the end of our time. You guys got to see more than the people here at the show floor got to play, so I hope that was exciting. And yeah, so stick around for more live events on EA.com. The next one starts shortly after this on EA.com/.